180,000 kilometers. Not bad, not bad. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I do know when you start seeing the wetness around that rocker cover, that probably means that that wet belt is already degrading. We're not gonna run that car for long because, oh yeah, it's no coolant. Okay, let's shut that engine off. Right, we top it up the engine with the coolant. Oh, you can see some water built up here around the gearbox housing. So I say the thermostat housing is leaking. We're gonna investigate that off after we take that intake box off. See that shiny thing there? Coolant housing area is gone. That's why you have so much water getting collected here. Once it it's getting pressurized, they start whistling the water out. And there it is. So far we diagnosed that the thermostat housing needs to be replaced, so we're just going to replace this. I mean, it's just a thermostat housing. The customer is happy enough with this. To replace the thermostat housing, we're going to take the airbox off. I know them very well already so far, so shouldn't be that hard to just replace that thermostat housing. Just flip this boy. Okay, that's how we lose. We were losing the intake manifold port, and then it's just that clip here holding it up together. Just throw this away. Yeah, not really. Not my car. And we ordered the new coolant cap as well with the thing. Now I'm gonna need to be careful with this pipe here, the gas pipe for turbo. Yeah, we need to be careful with that. Okay. Pretty awkward this angle here. It seems like someone else was working on this car previously. It looks like. You see them clamps, and then they get loose all of a sudden. Just pull this pipe. Make sure you take the coolant bottle pipe cap first off, because it will gush out the water. Difficult. Okay, coolant temperature sensor up. And the best thing is about the hot pipes, they just come off right off. The best thing about the coolant pipes when they're warm is they just come right off. And then you have this one here, which is a double clip on each side. Just press in with your hand below and above and try to work it out. There you go. That's it. Put it away to make some clearance here so you can see what you're doing. Now there's another one right below here. We're gonna lose this one up once we take the 8mm molds off. Let's see, loosen it up. Okay, let's take it out. Just want to show you something very quickly. With 180,000 kilometers, or what's that, 100,000 miles? Yeah, the bolts are absolutely covered in rust because of leak. Oh, no water coming out. Yeah, how surprising. Yeah. How surprising is that? So, let's wiggle this around. There you go. There it is. Oh, yeah. Look at that. You see this? That's where the leak is coming from. That's the whole thermostat housing off. And then let's take this clamp off as well. Yep, there you go. We're gonna get the parts for that car tomorrow. But don't have them today, so we're gonna pick them up tomorrow morning and put it all back together and get it delivered. Car is done. We have a parts right here. We got the genuine, as we said, thermostat housing and the new coolant cap, because the old one didn't work properly. What we're gonna do now is just gonna get all that clean around the housing on the cylinder head. Gonna clean all this up and then get the tick back on with no RVT. Don't use any RTV or RVT or whatever. And we're gonna probably replace this with the worm clamps, because these are just not good and they already seem like broken. So we're gonna replace this. Let's get on it. We're just gonna put a bit of grease here or oil, silicone on this, so they just fit snug right back in. This is supposed to go this way. We'll snug it back in, put the clamps on, and yeah, that'll be it. I just actually use soap and water to put it in, because everything else will just remain there, and I know that's gonna go away after some heat cycles go through. Okay, that went right in. Check the gasket up one more time before we clamp everything back together. The clamp is just here. Oh, it's so tight here. Let's see, one. It's in. Let's put the one below, just so we have an idea where everything else is going. Okay. Back in the same space, back in the same spot, just a different clamp. And this one here, on the top right corner, you see, you just snug it right back in. You're gonna hear the click. Yes, that's what we were looking for. Okay. Now, this is the temperature sensor. Let's just hose clamp. Let's do this. Let's just put this back where it was the first place. Okay, we have it. Let's just clean all this antifreeze under the below level, below this thing now. Or we're gonna suck all the liquids out. I think it's better than the rumbling compressor. Yeah, we're just gonna do it better. And then we're gonna put the airbox back in. I just use a normal 12 volt pump for it. You can just dump it on the ground, because at least later on when the car is running, if you see some extra fluid going back up there, it means it's still leaking. Let's pump it out. Now that looks way better. Now we're gonna try this out, but at least we don't have extra fluid in. And this is what we came off. This is all the fluid was just sitting down on the bottom level of that thing, of the bell housing. So we put that away. At least we have that off, so we can investigate it later on once it's all assembled. If we still have a remaining leak, but I will guarantee you we don't. Okay. What is this nice? Okay. Okay, right back in. We put in distilled water and we can already see how it's bleeding out itself with the engine off. That's the degas pipe of the turbo going from the cylinder head. You can actually hear it. That's going pretty easy. Yeah. That's a good sign. We're just going to leave the coolant cap off for a few minutes until the engine warms up. Idle it up a few times and then we're going to put the coolant back up and just let's see when the system gets pressurized if it's leaking anywhere. But I think we should be fine. So far, so good. No extra water piling up there on the bottom of the bell housing of gearbox. The water levels are great. All the hoses are about the same temperature. We're almost on the working temperature of the engine. We're going to turn the engine off, loose this up. That's what I'm going to do. Let the gas, everything back up again to get the pressure out. Bleed it again. Leave it open for a few minutes while it's running in, and the car's perfect. You just need a test ride, but it seems like that we just fixed the problem. Round 2 of getting the bubbles out. Still coming, but not as frequent as it was before. But we still have some bubbles. Water looks good, okay. The engine is on the operating temperature. Fans went on a few times. Hoses are nice and hard. Not too hard, and we can see that the rest of the block seems to look dry now. It's drying out. I mean, there's no more leaks. We're good on the level. We're just going to let the car idle now for a few minutes just to cool it down, shut it off, turn it back on. See, the fans are turning on. It's hitting the operating temperature and it's keeping the regulated temperature, which is good. That means there's no bubbles in the water in the system. Don't mind this is just my DIY mount for the camera. As I said, I'm not very famous on YouTube, but at least it works and I'm happy with it. So this car is done. We replaced that thermostat housing and the coolant cap. We cycled the engine a few times on the working temperature, let the fans kick off a few times, turn it off, do it over again. We got all the bubbles out, the heating is working. All the hoses are about the same temperature when it's fully warmed up engine. You can only hear now in the background the auxiliary pump that's pumping the water for the turbo feed. Overall the car was grand. Good enough job, no issues. Just to mention, these engines get fail very bad if you don't replace them thermostat housing, no matter how much they cost. Go with genuine parts. I know they're expensive, but I would recommend genuine Ford parts, not aftermarket parts on these. I did advise to just inspect the timing belt on it because it's the wet belt. It's submerging the oil, but he wasn't really delighted, happy to go forward with it, so we just didn't do it. Not my car, but I do recommend check the timing belts on them. On them 1 liter ecoboost, you can check the timing belts on 180,000 kilometers. Yeah, you could raise up the question if that's being replaced or not. Possibly it wasn't. I mean, it's a risk game, and I would check. At least you know what you have. You're risking a big thing here, which is engines itself cost a lot of money. Rebuilds as well. Not for me because I can do it myself, but for anyone else. if the car's in the garage and you're getting replaced this housing, thermostats and all, just give a shout to the mechanic and say, can you take the rocker cover off or the oil sump? Take it off, inspect that, and at least you have a peace of mind.